All right, good morning and good afternoon, science students. We're going to be reviewing your Go with the Flow Electricity and Circuits PhET simulation. On the screen, you'll notice your document on the far right side, and on the left side is the PhET simulation. So you were to open up the simulator using the link that I provided, and you were to find a way to make a single light bulb light up with as few parts as possible. And you'll know that you have electricity flowing through the wires because you'll see the light bulb light up. And when you have something that you make like that, we call that a circuit. So the least possible things you're going to need, I'm just going to drag them over the screen, would be a battery, wires, and whenever, keep in mind when you're making circuits, try to make them resemble boxes or rectangles. So that's what a good practice, just because engineers, when they build circuitry components like this, that's what they do. They use boxes to represent all the different components in a circuit. All right, so this would be the bare minimum that you would need. Would be wires, a light bulb, and a battery. And we can label these values here for you. So we have a 9-volt battery, and the resistor, which is the light bulb here, is offering 10 ohms of resistance. All right, so you would have screenshot that and placed it in the location right here where it says use the PhET simulator. It would have gone right in this spot here. So what seems to be making the light bulb turn on in your circuit? Well, you have a closed circuit, first of all, of wires connected to a resistor, in this case, a light bulb, and it's running through, the energy source is a battery. Now, you were to make a gap in your circuit, and you could have done that anywhere, just cut anywhere. And then you were to go to these different grab bags here and play with the different objects and find out which of these allow electricity to flow and fill in the data table. So our first one we could have used would have been a dollar bill. So let's just drag out dollar bill, a paper clip, a coin, an eraser, a pencil, a hand, and a dog. So you were just going to connect those to those places there provided and see what happened. And you would have noticed that the dog is offering a lot of resistance, so electricity is unable to flow through the dog or create electricity. The pencil is offering 25 ohms of resistance and is also going to offer resistance, but it is creating electricity. If you notice, there is a little bit of resistance offered, but it does allow electricity to flow. So the pencil you would have put as a conductor because it allowed electricity to flow. So we're just going to do two different columns here. Okay, we'll do our insulators here on the left. I'm sorry, on our right are our insulators, and on the left will be our conductors. So let's try the dollar bill. And again, you can see the ohms for that is pretty high. It does not allow electricity to flow. That would be considered an insulator. And you probably guess with the ohms here what the hand would be. It's also an insulator. Paperclip has no resistance, so that you can probably guess what's going to happen there. It will create electricity. That is a conductor. And the coin is also 0 ohms of resistance, so that would be a conductor. And the eraser, if you look at the ohms here, you can see it's pretty high as well, so that is an insulator. So those will be what you would have labeled here underneath conductors would have been the pencil, the paperclip, the coin, and then the objects that do not allow electricity to flow, you should have listed dog, dollar bill, hand, and eraser. So number 2, what do the conductors have in common? you can see that they have low resistance, okay, 25 ohms, 0 ohms, and 0 ohms. And then your insulators have a high resistance. Now, for the next activities, you need to light up more than one bulb at a time using just one dry cell or one battery. So your first circuit, you were to find a way to hook up your bulbs in a way that if you break the connection at one bulb, all the bulbs go out. And then you were to include your sketch here. So let's just start our circuit over, refresh, and then we're going to include a battery. And we're going to do 2 bulbs now. So in order for both of those bulbs to go out at the same time, you're going to be making a series circuit. And a series circuit has only one path that the electricity can flow. And so we're going to show that by adding one wire to this side of the terminal of the battery, and then connecting all of these wires so there's only one way the electricity can flow. So if I were to make a cut here, you could see that the electricity has stopped because there is an open circuit here where electricity cannot flow to either of the batteries because there's only one way that the electrons can get back to the battery, which would be this way here, going through both of these bulbs and back to the battery. So why did the rest of the bulbs go out? If you break the connection at one bulb, you could have said because there's only one path for the electricity to follow. And this circuit is called a series because the bulbs are hooked up in one long series or line. So name somewhere you have seen a string of lights that are also a series circuit. You could have said old Christmas lights are in series. You know, when one bulb goes out at Christmas time, a lot of times the whole strand is also out. Second circuit, you were to find a way to hook up your bulbs in a way that if you break the connection at one bulb, only that bulb goes out. And then you were to sketch your new circuit below by taking a screenshot of your work. So I'm just going to disconnect here and make a simple series circuit with one bulb first. Okay. And now we had to find a way to add another bulb, but not have it go out if we were to open a circuit. So a parallel circuit is formed by creating another branch for the electricity to flow. And we're just going to take it off of this side here. And as you notice, these 2 wires are in parallel. Where the bulb is located in the wires, they should be in parallel to the other bulb and wires. All right, and so if you notice, if we do a break here, this bulb is still lit up, and this one goes out because this is considered an open switch and electricity cannot flow through this branch here. All right, so if you were to take a screenshot of that and place it in this space provided here, that would have been fine. And then why do the rest of the bulbs stay lit if you break the connection at one bulb? Because there are other paths the electricity can take in order for the electrons to get back to the battery. In this case, this top bulb is still lit. So this circuit is called a parallel circuit. It has 2 or more single loops connected to the same battery. When one bulb goes out on these circuits, the rest of the bulbs stay lit. And name somewhere you would have seen many bulbs hooked up to one power source where one bulb can go out without affecting the others. You could have said your home, right? All the circuits in your home are on parallel circuits. Number 8, you design toys for a toy company. Your boss wants you to hook up the lights in the toy car you are working on in the cheapest way possible without consideration of the quality of the toy. So which circuit should you use if you want to save money by using fewer parts? And that would be your series circuit. So why would this circuit be cheaper? That's because you wouldn't have to buy as many parts to make that circuit. You can see with a parallel circuit, you need more wires and more connections and that type of thing. Number 10, you are an electrician working on a house. What type of circuit would you use for the house so that the owners don't call to complain about their wiring? You would use a parallel circuit. Okay. Again, because if one bulb goes out, the other ones don't, and they're not affected. Okay. So now you were to make the bulbs glow brighter. So how can we get these bulbs to glow brighter? Let's look at the values of what we have right now. We have a 9-volt battery here, and we have bulbs that are offering a 10 ohm resistance. So what we can do is let's go over to our lab, and we're going to increase our voltage by adding two batteries together. And we're going to see what happens to our brightness. You can see the lines are much longer than the previous ones. So we can also, if we take our battery resistance and increase it, you can see that as we have a higher ohm resistance. So let me go back here for a second and click on values. So you can see we have an 18 volt power source and a 10 ohm light bulb. And if we use more resistance in the batteries, then you're going to see that the brightness does decrease. So we want the bulbs to glow brighter. So one other thing we can do is take the resistance of the light bulb and decrease it. And you can see that the bulbs are going to glow much more brighter. If we want to dim the bulbs, we can add more resistance to the bulbs. Okay, you can see now the electrons aren't moving as fast. And we can also take away another battery here. Okay, so you could have offered two answers. You can have a dimmer bulb by increasing the ohm resistance in the actual resistor itself, in this case the bulb, or decrease the energy source voltage. And then to grow brighter, it would be the opposite. You could have more batteries, which is increasing your electric potential difference, and or you can decrease the resistance in the light bulb. And that basically goes over your assignment that you did. Please make sure you have turned it in so that you can receive credit. And also let me know if you have any questions.